New details have emerged about the conditions on the set of Rust, where cinematographer Halyna Hutchins was accidentally killed, and it seems there was a ton of safety concerns prior to the tragic shooting. Let's get into it. The more updates we get about what happened on the set of Rust, the more our hearts break for Halyna and everyone else affected by this awful tragedy. When running through what happened with the sheriff's investigators, director Joel Souza recalled that he heard someone say "cold gun" prior to Alec Baldwin having been handed his firearm to run through what he was going to do. The shot Alec Baldwin was preparing for is called a cross draw, aka where he points his gun directly at the camera. According to new court documents, however, as he began to practice pointing the gun directly at the camera, that's when the live round was fired and struck director Joel Souza in the shoulder and went on to hit cinematographer Halyna Hutchins in the chest, subsequently killing her. Cameraman Reed Russell explained to the authorities that Alec was trying to explain how he was going to draw out the firearm and where his arm would be when the firearm was pulled from the holster. Joel Souza added that the gun had been inspected before they broke for lunch, but he could not remember if it had been checked again when the crew came back to set to start filming again. After the shocking moment happened, Joel told them that his memory was vague, but he remembered Halyna complained about her stomach, then grabbed her midsection and stumbled backwards. He recalled she was assisted to the ground while he was bleeding from his shoulder and remembered seeing blood on Halyna. The cameraman Reed Russell also said that after the shooting, Halyna expressed to those around her that she could not feel her legs. Once she was on the ground, the medics began frantically treating her until she was airlifted to a hospital where she was then pronounced dead. Joel Souza also told the authorities that he believes there should never have been live rounds near or around a scene that's being rehearsed or filmed. Special effects coordinator and theatrical firearms safety expert Steve Wolf told CNN that there were 3 errors that contributed to the tragedy. He explained to the outlet that 1, using a real gun rather than a prop gun, 2, having a live round in the gun, and 3, having people stand directly behind the camera in the line of fire. The safety concerns surrounding the Rust set have come flooding in with every new detail we get about the tragic shooting. And now an actor from the film is adding more context to the shooting based on his experiences on set. A New Mexico-based principal cast member named Ian A. Hudson told TMZ that before he wrapped his role playing an outlaw in Rust, he was involved in a shootout scene where the cameras were protected more than any of the cast and crew. He explained to the news outlet that he was terrified during the scene because there were 20 pistols and 2 rifles unloading blanks, but the actors themselves had no protection against misfires. There was, however, a large shield-like apparatus in front of the camera, where only the lens was exposed in order to protect it from any possible accidents, a courtesy not provided to anyone else. According to Ian, there were also people standing directly behind the camera and shield, which is a risky activity that gun experts agree should not have happened. Ian went even further by explaining that he thought the scene was life-threatening because real weapons, not props, were being pointed at him while the blanks were being discharged. This created a realistic rush of air that hit him multiple times along with being hit by small pieces of cardboard. As to why he didn't voice his concerns about safety, Ian explained that he's new to the industry and didn't want to be viewed as causing trouble on set. However, he pointed out that the other more experienced actors went through and checked their weapons 2 or 3 times after they got it from the armorer, regardless of whether they were told if the gun was cold or not. Ian also alleges that Alec Baldwin did not double-check his own weapon, but relied instead upon the assistant director's assurances that the gun was cold. In addition to these shocking on-set allegations, new details have emerged about the film's armorer, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, due to her inexperience with the extremely important job. TMZ insiders also revealed that they believe it was the assistant director who told the set that the gun was cold, something that experts agree should have been the armorer's job to declare, not the AD's. However, Ian told the outlet that director Joel Souza praised Hannah while he was on set and would tell her she was doing a good job despite her being newer to the position. Authorities continue to investigate this awful tragedy, and they've been given a warrant to seize any and all camera footage or other data that might have recorded the fatal incident to help them figure out exactly what happened on set during that harrowing day. And to catch up on any of the earlier details on this heartbreaking story, click right over here for another clever video. Then feel free to send your love and condolences to Helena, her family, and anyone else affected by this horrible tragedy in the comments section below. I'm your host, Susan Morad. I'll catch you later. Bye guys.